Welcome back to the channel. It's me, brushing my teeth, looking at myself in the mirror, checking out my smile, making sure it is camera ready for the day, because you never know when the camera's gone. Nah, come out and start rolling. Well, no, not that kind. I'm not alive. This was a person who was standing right in front of me, looking back at me with their eyes open, completely motionless, completely lifeless, like a corpse, like a cadaver. And that's when I saw it. Looking back at me from the mirror was someone who wasn't alive. It was totally random. By the way, this isn't a paid promotion. Immediately got really scared, because I have a family history of strokes. I'm starting to have these types of experiences because my consciousness is expanding. They'll say, that's not real, that can't be real, and maybe they're right. But maybe they're S. Also, a small percentage of people out there who VE experienced similar things, and they resonate with what I am saying. And maybe together we can figure this out. Maybe we'll discover something that defies the current understanding of our universe. There has to be something there. But how can I explain what I saw, and we just happened to catch a glimpse of it? These are the questions that keep me up at night. These are the things that I think about when I lay in bed trying to go to sleep. A lot of people might say, you were just tired. You were hallucinating. You probably need to cut back on the caffeine. But you know what? Maybe they're right. Maybe it was the caffeine. And his team are in this dream world, and they retrying to extract information from this one guy. What if we could create these dream worlds where we could extract information from people without them even realizing it? There are people out there who are using VR headsets to enter other people's dreams and manipulate them. They're basically hacking the dream world. If we could do that with the right intentions, we could use it to help people. We could extract the information we need to cure diseases, solve global problems. The possibilities are really endless. It sounds crazy, but it's not impossible. All we need is a team of brilliant minds working together to make it happen. And although it's a movie, it does bring up some interesting points about the nature of reality. The problem is the guy keeps spinning his totem, which is a top that spins indefinitely in a dream world. The point is, they can unextract the information they need, because this guy is aware that he is in a dream world. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. He knows that he's being manipulated. Maybe I'm evolving. Who knows? I'm not going to pretend to have all the answers here, but it kept playing on my mind. I couldn't help but think, how is this possible? I'm used to it. I don't expect most people to believe me. If you have any type of experience where you saw something or felt something that defied explanation, leave it in the comments below. And if enough of us share our experiences, maybe we'll be able to figure this out. They're not aware of this higher frequency. They don't have the ability to see beyond the physical realm. But what if we were able to tap into that 1% of people who do have the ability to see this stuff? What if we were able to harness that energy and use it to our advantage? But if you're one of the few people out there who's experienced something similar, maybe we can connect and talk more about it. I believe that if we can tap into that frequency, if we can understand it, we can use it to our advantage. For example, if we were able to tap into the frequency that allows us to see these interdimensional beings or these portals or whatever they may be, we would have access to information that would completely change the course of human history. Maybe we can figure this out together. We presuppose to be living in a reality where everything we see is made of atoms, and those atoms are vibrating at different frequencies and energy is all around us. I studied physics and engineering in college, so I tend to look at things through that lens. It was maybe 6 months ago, maybe a year ago. Again, time doesn't really matter here, but I was driving home from an event, and I took a little detour down PCH, which is the coastal highway here in Southern California. As I'm driving down the PCH, there's this bridge that goes over this little inlet. And I've driven over this bridge hundreds of times. It's nothing special, just a regular old bridge. But for some reason, this time when I looked over the side of the bridge, I saw this swirling vortex of energy, and I couldn't look away. I had to keep staring at it. And the craziest part was, it was moving. It was literally rotating. I couldn't help but wonder if there is some type of frequency or energy that I'm picking up on that S causing these glitches in my perception. But then I quickly realized that I could move my arms and legs. I could feel sensation in them. I didn't have any slurred speech. I wasn't sweating or lightheaded. so I knew in that moment that I wasn't having a stroke. You know the drill. I'd love to hear your perspective. I've been sitting here racking my brain trying to figure this out, and I can't come up with anything. So if I had to put a title on this video, I would call it exactly that. But the platform doesn't allow titles to be that long. Subscribe if you haven't already. Now, this might sound crazy, but it actually happened twice. The second time I noticed it was during a Zoom call. I was on a business call, so I'm not going to be able to share the footage of it. But I was looking at my screen. We were talking about media buying strategies. Next thing I know, I look over and there's this person behind me just staring off into the abyss. They were breathing, but they weren't actually there. It was like they were in a trance or something. Ring the bell for notifications and let's get into it. So a couple of days ago, I was getting ready in the morning like I usually do. Now before I continue, just want to say this is not clickbait. That was literally what I saw. Now, maybe you're thinking, what the heck are you talking about? Everyone isn't alive. People die all the time. I don't know how else to explain it. The first thing that came to mind was, oh my God, am I having a stroke? But that still left me with one question. How is there a person standing directly behind me breathing, but not actually there? This happened 2 days apart, and neither time did I have any idea this was going to happen. Anyways, I tried to brush it off, just chalked it up to some weird glitch in the matrix and moved on with my day. Maybe there's some type of interdimensional being that's visiting our realm, or maybe I've watched too many videos on lucid dreaming. But what I do know is that the majority of people will read this and think that I'm crazy. If you have any ideas or thoughts on what's happening here, please leave them in the comments below. But I do want to share one last experience that I had that kind of relates to this whole situation. Now again, I'm no physicist, but I'm assuming that if something is rotating, there has to be some type of energy causing it to rotate. But what if it wasn't? What if there's some type of interdimensional wormhole that opens up every once in a while? And if you're sitting here listening to me right now thinking, this guy is absolutely insane, that's okay. Here's what I want you to do. Like I said, I have a theory that there is some type of higher frequency or energy that is causing these types of glitches in our perception. We live in a world where 99% of people are asleep. Here's what I mean. If you've ever seen the movie Inception, there's this one scene where Dom Cobb now. What if we were able to develop a technology that would allow us to manipulate these dream worlds? Think about it. You already have the ability to manipulate people's dreams with technology. Again, I know this sounds like science fiction, but it's not impossible. If you're interested in learning more about this type of stuff, I highly recommend watching the movie Inception. It's a movie about manipulating people's dreams. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching.